Now, live with Greg Olsen, Director of the New York State Office for the Aging.
Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name is Greg Olsen. I'm the Director of the New York State Office for Aging. I'm really excited about this topic and to have Beth with me. I'll introduce her formally in a second. We're here to talk about the senior games. And for some of you, you may have never heard of that or knew that we do that in New York State, thanks to people like Beth and a couple of other counties that we'll talk about. You know, I want to start really with some personal experience. I was very lucky to grow up playing sports. Mine were baseball, football and basketball. And two of those I kept doing, well into my 40s and 50s. I picked up golf in my 20s and I picked up pickleball in my 40s. Lots of people have the same type of experience that I do. And you're never too old, frankly, to continue to play in a variety of different games, whether they be those types or others. I remember when I was working in the legislature, the first time I ever heard the word pickleball was from a staffer who was 75 years old and had played that. And I was asking her exactly what that was because I had never heard of it before. So I'm really not sure why people think that life ends or interests changed just because you get older. Friendly competition, exercise, the opportunity to stay healthy, make friends, etc., is really what sports are all about, and they're a major part of the fabric of this country. So I am extraordinarily pleased to have Beth Stranges on with us. She is the director of the Department of Aging and Long-Term Care in Chemung County, an incredible leader, and she has one of the counties that hosts the senior games, as well as Cortland, where I've been to many times, and Orange County as well. So welcome, Beth. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And as you can see, I have my 2023 Chemung County Senior Games. I will be participating in an event this year, as I am of age to do that, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So you've been with Chemung County for a long time, but you're a fairly new director. Can you share your thoughts about the importance of connecting your community to a statewide audience for this event?
Sure. I think, although I've been with the county for 20 years, it's only been the last couple of years that I have been over here directing the Chemung County Department of Aging and Long-Term Care. And in doing so, I really got to get engaged and involved with the senior games here that have been going on for 32 years. And I think one of the biggest pieces to connect our county with all of New York State residents that it could be 50 years or over is really to encourage participation in the Chemung County Senior Games. Here in Chemung County, we're really committed to creating healthy spaces and activities for older New Yorkers right here in our area. And I think that one of the best things that we could do is we have athletes that come here from surrounding counties, because maybe their community isn't holding games right now, but they want to travel and they're interested in it. So we've had people from Broome County, Cortland, Schuyler, Steuben, Tioga, Tompkins, and then we've also had athletes from the northern tier of Pennsylvania. So anyone, can come here and participate as long as you're 50 or older. We encourage that.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And if folks don't know where Chemung County is, take a look at it. It's on the southern tier. So to have, and I love the term you use, athletes, to have athletes come from all of those areas is really a testament to what we're talking about, how important, sports and competition are, and whether that's something you grew up on or, as the example that I use, you pick up later. You don't have to shoot a 75 to be involved in your golf tournament. It's about the camaraderie. It's about making connections. It's about combating isolation, staying healthy, etc. I think one of the things I was most impressed with last year is the support that you got from your amazing county executive, all the staff, all the vendors in your community that really recognize this is an important part of healthy aging. So can you talk a little bit about how your games are put together and the sense of the effort that really goes into this? Because whether we go to conferences or do things like that, people see those things at the back end, but there's a lot that goes into planning these.
Yes, there's a ton of work. And, I didn't really know the full extent of it until I stepped into this role. And quite honestly, there has been a senior games committee for over 32 years. And these are individuals that volunteer their time to find out what do they want to do in our county as far as events, games, what can take place, what are the current sporting activities that individuals are really interested in making sure that we have when we're doing the senior games. So there's a committee of about 16 people right now. And these are individuals that are just really passionate about making sure that we stay an age-friendly community and are including activities. So basically they get together as soon as the one of the senior games ends, they are back to work looking at the next year. What do we need to do? What colors do we want it to be? What games do we want to include? What vendors do we want? What worked well? What didn't work well? So it's a huge commitment of volunteer hours from our adults in Chemung County, and not just Chemung County. We have people on the Senior Games Committee from Schuyler County as well. They travel in from Watkins, and they're just actively involved and engaged. And we have other people from Pennsylvania that do join in on that Senior Games Committee. But I think some of the big pieces of it are looking to see, like I said, we've been fortunate, but just looking to see how can the games be fun and inclusive for all. That is what we aim for, making sure that we are an all-inclusive events that can, really just shed light on what we do, and that we're always trying to improve and find different ways. So there's a ton of information. It takes a really long time. There's the fiscal pieces and things like that that go along with it. But, it's the commitment by the Senior Games Committee members. And I'm very fortunate to have Carol here in our office, who is our Senior Games coordinator. She works closely, sets the agendas, gets the meetings set up for me. And she's an amazing asset to the department.
Yeah, I remember meeting Carol last year, and your whole staff does a tremendous job. And, you highlighted something we highlight all the time is how valuable the role of volunteers are. Mm-hmm. And I think what I was really impressed with joining your games last year was the number of organizations that came out to let folks know what services, what supports were available. But I thought what was brilliant on your guys' behalf was bringing the public transportation in, because a lot of times public transportation may be available, but an older adult may not know how to use it. And this was a safe space to really learn how to use public transportation. So I thought that was a really smart thing to do. Talk to me about this new idea that you mentioned, the employer or corporate challenge that you're working on.
I thought about this year. I said, how can I really encourage and share information about the senior games with our local businesses, right? So we're Chemung County. So my goal is to do like an employer challenge. I really am challenging them to learn about the Department of Aging and the services and programs that we have here, but also to get involved with the senior games and the importance of encouraging an active lifestyle while individuals may still be working. It just is better health outcomes for them as we age if we're actively involved in something. So I'm really encouraging employers. I'll be reaching out to them just with some informational letters, and then going out and speaking with them, to encourage them to have their staff participate or encourage it. There's some events that are on Saturdays. There's a couple different ways. But I think just really getting that employer challenge out there this year. There's some new businesses, and I just want to go out there and, introduce myself, introduce the Department of Aging, and tell them how much fun it is to be a partner and to have their staff participate in our games.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to engage businesses, not only for what you had talked about, but many people that are working are caring for somebody else or older workers themselves. And so, we have to bring everybody in, public sector, private sector. I think what you're doing is really great. We're going to take a short break. I wanted to make sure everybody knew that we are conducting the first ever statewide needs assessment survey of older adults in this state. The link closes on this survey on March 30th. So if you are viewing this, please pass it along. It doesn't matter where you are in the state, to somebody who's over the age of 60, to help us compile what matters to individuals at the community level. So we'll be right back.
How would you rate the overall quality of life in your community? What about public safety, access to information and resources, social engagement, recreation, health and wellness, housing, ease of travel to fulfill daily needs? Hi, my name is Greg Olsen, and I'm the director of the New York State Office for Aging. These are the kinds of things you are concerned about, and so are we. NYSOFA recently launched the state's first ever comprehensive survey of older adults and their needs. You may have received this survey in the mail. If so, please complete that one. If not, click the link below and take the survey online today. Nobody knows their community better than you do. We're counting on you to provide us with the information to further build on New York.
It's actually good that it's stopping there. So we have the link.
Promise.
So for anybody who has participated in these Facebook Lives before, this is a very new format. So there's always going to be a little glitches here or there. I'm going to ask Alex to make sure that that survey goes into the bottom here so that you can see it. And we'll correct those as we move forward. There's always a glitch here and there for technical things, but I love this new format. And we're really encouraging everybody. Like I said, we have got about a week left on the survey to be open, and we're looking for hundreds of thousands of responses back that'll help us inform our state plan and our master plan on aging. So Beth, let me come back to you. You mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to ask you again. How many people compete in the games? And, give me some ideas of what some of the events are besides, like some that we've showed with golf and horseshoes, archery.
All right. So there was previous years over 500 athletes. Obviously with the pandemic, it was down again. Last year we had 374 athletes participated in 2022. And my goal is to hit 500 this year. So I think some of the games that we didn't talk about are, we have shuffleboard, right? So that was a fun game. I actually got to be the referee in shuffleboard last year. So that was fun. We have bowling, we have bocce this year. So that'll be great. And then we have cornhole, and we have softball, so we have all of those on top of golf, and horseshoes is fun, and pickleball. That's a big one. Big, huge game of pickleball. We offer that event as well. So I think we offer a variety of events here, and there are some events that they've held years past that I would like to incorporate moving forward, some of the track and field events. And then I have a special one I'm going to try to work on, a 5K, a Chemung County Senior Games 5K. I think that would be wonderful. It's not happened yet, but that is in the works. I'm really excited to try to bring that to our senior games as well.
I think that's great. I also participated last year in miniature golf. You had a driving range to hit golf balls. I was hitting softballs off a tee.
Yes.
And yeah, there's a lot going on there. So it was a lot of fun.
So sorry, really quick. The games that you're talking about, and I should have mentioned, that is at our field day event. That is an event that everybody can come to. It's on June 16th. And that is where you're able to play miniature golf. You get to get transportation from the C-Tran, from the public transportation, learn how to ride a bus. It's wonderful. And then all of those other things, is softball, hit and throw. You can hit the driving range at the driving range at Harris Hill Park. It's such a fun event. So
yeah, I'm excited to participate in your golf. I'll digress a little because we had a little technical glitch on the Pulco survey. Alex has just put that in the bottom. So you can click on that and help us with the survey. So you had mentioned there were pre-pandemic, you had almost 500 people from all over the place. Everything was impacted by the pandemic. But the fact that, again, last year you had hundreds of people. I know that you are, agreed to go on the radio at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, but what are the other ways that you are working to get the word out about your games, especially within your region, but really statewide?
Yeah, I think, well, we are here right now, right? And so my goal is, to talk to all of New Yorkers, really to educate them about the senior games that are going on locally, but to ask you to join our games. So I'm hoping that this platform is a way that we can really share our information, what's going on in our county, and to encourage participation in the senior games this year. And also, I think one of the biggest areas that I can get out there is reaching out to our employers, using our local media partners, radio, television, getting out there, going and knocking on doors, introducing myself, introducing what we do at the department, and then asking them to share some of our applications and things like that. We also use Facebook, social media. Our county webpage has our application on it too. So there's lots of information. We'll be doing press releases too as the time draws near.
Yeah, and I think if anybody winds up not from Chemung County coming to your games, they'll learn, and we'll tell them now, there's an office for aging in every single county that provides similar services. So it's unique what you're doing with Cortland and Orange for the games, but I think you round it out with a lot more than that. So how do people register for your games?
So for our games, they can go on the Chemung County ny.gov website, and they can get an application there. Yep, there's the link. So you just look at it's under the Department of Aging, and you can click on there. You can print the application. You can, I believe we have it on our Facebook page as well right now. That's at the Chemung County Department of Aging and Long-Term Care Facebook page. And then individuals can stop into our office here at 425 Pennsylvania Ave in Elmira, New York, and pick up an application. Or if you need to call us, feel free to call our office at 607-737-5520, and we would be glad to mail an application out to you.
That's great. And if you're, closer to central New York, Cortland, or in the Mid-Hudson Valley, Orange, we're going to provide you with the information if you'd like to register there as well. Here's Orange County below. And then we'll provide Cortland as well. Now, Cortland is the hub to the National Senior Games, where you can compete, and depending, I would assume it's kind of like the Olympics. If you're top three, you wind up going on to the National Games, which is really exciting. Their event is well done as well as Orange. So it's called the Senior Games. I don't really have a problem with that term, but let's talk about the guidelines. How old do you have to be to participate in what is called the Senior Games? So
you have to be 50. Okay, that is the magic age. So if you are turning 50 this year in 2023, you are able to play in your senior games. So they can participate in ours. I'll just throw it out there. I'm going to actually be 50 this year. So I am participating in one of the events. Like last year, I just joined and helped supervise and work with the Senior Games Committee. This year, I'm actually going to be able to play and see what it's like. I get to experience it, and then I can speak firsthand what it really was like to be out there all day long on the golf course and just really enjoying it, and really have a great time. So 50 years old is the magic number. And there's guidelines for each of the games that are listed in the application and specific rules. And they're mailed out as individuals sign up for whatever event they're signed up for. We'll make sure that they have the rules so that everybody, when they're going there to those events, are all on the same page. I think it's great. And I think you and I, because I am of age also, are in the same event, in the same foursome. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to try to take another break here. You're going to hear from our Health Insurance Information Counseling and Assistance Program Director, Heather Leddick.
about our YouTube and the HiCap program. Let's see if the...
Hi, I'm Heather Luddick with the Health Insurance Information Counseling and Assistance Program, referred to in New York as HiCap. Please like and subscribe to our NYSOFA YouTube channel for important HiCap information. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Appreciate that. So what were some of the highlights, Beth, of last year's game? I know the day that I went, I mean, the weather was incredible and you had a great crowd, but how many days are the games? And then tell me what some of the highlights were.
So the games run from May 23rd through June 16th. Okay, so we don't have multiple games on the same days. But I think some of the highlights is just that we had a huge increase in our males that attended from year to year. Last, like 21, there was 89 males last year. There was 257. But the same with females. Females also increased 75 to 117, and just looking at our age range, I think is really, really important. We had 67 athletes that were age 80 and over. And then actually 5 of those individuals were 90, and over. And we've had members of our senior games committee just really participate all the way. We had someone that was 102 years old, still volunteering and still participating, that was on the senior games committee, up until a couple of years ago. And, a lot of our players look forward to seeing people from the senior games committee that participate, and they look forward to that camaraderie. And I think that's some of the takeaways. The highlights is that after the pandemic, people were so excited to just get out and see their friends that they haven't seen. And maybe they've met over the last 30 years and they only get to see them once a year at the senior games. And just to see that interaction and socialization was something that's a huge highlight. Individuals get medals and they have a lot of fun, but really what we see is the impact, that people have with building friendships through these games.
Yeah, and it's really critically important. And I'm not surprised by your age breakdown at all, or where people come from. As I said in the beginning, this is a culture that sports is embedded in, whether it's something you grew up in, was passed down to you, or something that you pick up later. And it is such a welcoming and open environment. However, somebody who is very competitive, early, those things don't change. It's that there's that spirit of positive competition, the friendships, the camaraderie, the healthy aging. So Beth, I don't have any other questions for you, but I want to ask you an open-ended one. Is there anything that else that you would like to say, not only about your games, but possibly the others, to leave the audience with?
I think what I'd like to share is that it's so important to get involved, in your games. Find out what's going on in your community. Find out what activities are taking place. Find out if you have walking trails, or if you have we have a great Chemung, our Chemung River. You can go kayaking or canoeing and different things. There's a lot of events in our county. We have beautiful scenery and the weather is so nice. But find out. I think that's what I would really encourage people to do. Find out what activities for healthy aging are in your community, and start young, right? Start while you're young. And that way, as we age, we're going to continue to stay involved with sports and stay involved with activities that we really enjoy, and actually enhance our aging process.
Yeah, and I think I was thinking as you were saying that, because it's so important. We work with a lot of other state agencies and local agencies that are making trails and parks much more accessible for people with disabilities or walkers or wheelchairs. And we're in 2023. We have 3 counties. There used to be 4, but we have 3 counties that operate a senior games, and there's no reason that we can't be starting to expand this. So maybe one of the things we could be working on with you and some of our other partners is a how-to guide to establish, your core group, your advisory committee with volunteers, and how you can start to grow these things, because healthy aging, that's what it's all about. And that's what we're all about as an agency, and you as well as a local office for aging. So I can't thank you enough. I am so looking forward to coming out again this year. Had a great time last year. I want to let folks know that our next Facebook Live is going to be on April 27th. We're going to be bringing back Heather Leddick, who you just heard, and Fred Riccardi from the Medicare Rights Center to talk about the MSP program, Medicare Savings Program, which we've talked about a couple of times, but the opportunity to have up to $7,000 put back in your Social Security checks by changes that Governor Hochul made in the budget last year that are now active and live. So we're really looking forward to that. Again, on behalf of myself and the agency, thanks Beth Stranges so much for coming on and sharing what you do. There's a new format for us. I want to thank Alex Hyatt on our communications team, who just did a tremendous job. I really like this. And as always, thank Roger Noyes, our Director of Communications. Those two do amazing work together. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Stay healthy, stay well, and sign up for one of these senior games in Orange, Cortland, or Chemung County. Thank you.
Live with Greg is a production of the New York State Office for the Aging Communications Bureau. Please make sure to join us next time.